of counsel to our effort is Ari Melber, who will be a key reader as this comes out, an interpreter of the legal text. Ari, what do you got so far?
Good to see you, Brian. I've been listening along with all of your talented experts. I heard 5 important things from Mr. Barr here. Number one, he concedes, even in this glowing account, that, quote, there were multiple disagreements with Mueller on policy. He has his strategic reasons for conceding that now. I expect we'll read a lot more of what that might be in the report. So disagreements between Barr and Mueller. Number two, as mentioned, no Mueller at the announcement of the Mueller report. That is a striking absence. One would assume that if these two lawyers were more in line, they might have been there together. It would have been in Barr's interest to have them in the room. Number three, big headline, Brian. They gave a redacted copy of this whole report to the White House early. They may have their reasons and policies for defending that, but that's a headline after Mr. Barr claimed that he would be far more uniform, letting everyone basically see the same thing roughly at the same time. So Congress still waiting, the country waiting. We hear from Barr on his version of events, but the White House didn't have to wait. That's striking. Number four, this anger defense doesn't really hold water, Brian. The notion that the president was, quote, angry and frustrated, and that proves he doesn't have intent. You don't need to be a lawyer to know that a lot of people get angry. Anger is not a defense at trial. It's certainly not a defense to what was your mindset. The real question is, were you cooperating or not? And finally, a reference there to, quote, 10 episodes of obstruction analyzed by Mueller. I think what's really significant is what Barr didn't get to and didn't detail. He obviously detailed things he thought were helpful to President Trump, his boss. He didn't really discuss any of what those 10 episodes are, so we're going to be watching to report on what is in the report about them.
Well, Ari, that brings us to the relevant question of this morning. Having taken one publicly for the team, does Barr's influence fall off a cliff in the next hour?
I think what we see here is the most high-stakes political lawyering. And I don't like to refer to any attorney general as doing political lawyering, but I think that's what we clearly just saw in both the way the letters were released and what we just heard in that press conference. And so to your question, Brian, Mr. Barr has now dared everyone. I mean, he is daring the narrators, the press. We have a vibrant internet that can also pick apart details to compare everything we've heard in these 20-plus days where he has tried to dominate a narrative about the report, and then it will be stacked up against the redacted report and what else might be underneath those redactions. So two big fights here. Number one, what is the space as we get this report later today and understand what those disagreements were, what those 10 episodes were, why Mueller explains he did what he did, whether the emphasis on the Russian government part of this, quote, no collusion claim is doing a lot of work, what else the Trump campaign may have tried to do, and then what comes after that, which is whether there's any impropriety or hiding or lack of transparency in these key redactions.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.